to another video. Sorry for the slight delay, but things come up, and as things do. As usual, I'm your host, Lakotas,
I'm Iron Mike.
and today is just going to be a mixed bag of news that we've run across in the past few days. Like that one interesting story that we've heard about this zombie thing in Florida. You want to fill them in on that?
All right. Now, in South Florida, residents were awoken around 1:45 in the morning to an alert about extreme zombie activity during a power outage. Now, this has happened before in Florida.
But wasn't reported on. They didn't tell nobody about it.
Well, in this case, except for unlike last time where you had some homeless guy chewing the face off of another man, it was just an alert that went out for extreme zombie activity, and they didn't know when the power would come back on, according to the alert. Now I'll pop the alert up, like right here. Now, is this trying to desensitize people to the word zombie? So when they hear about it or see a warning, they're not going to take it seriously? Because as you know as well as I do, the government does not want mass panic happening.
No, in fact, they would wait to the last second to say anything about it at all, if they said anything. But then again, how do we know the government isn't possibly behind some things like this? Maybe this is like a testing ground.
Well, if I remember correctly, back when that whole thing with the homeless guy eating the other guy's face. No, it was. I'm wrong. It wasn't the homeless guy eating the guy's face. It was it was some black guy.
Some random black guy started gnawing down on the homeless guy.
Yeah.
Supposedly they repaired his face, which, if you won't be honest about it, they must have been one hell of a damn plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't no signs of anything.
But the strange thing about that was, it was there one day, gone the next. You didn't hear nothing about that guy no more.
What caused it? Bath salts.
Exactly.
How does anybody buy that bullshit? No. Didn't we hear some more crap somewhere come out of Florida not too long after that?
Well, yeah.
About some other random occurrence like that.
Yeah,
well, for a while it was getting kind of crazy.
Well, if I remember correctly, after all that happened back then, there was supposedly government training on an off, like off on an island outside of Florida, doing zombie training, where they were, basically enacting like what to do during something like that.
Basically running scenarios
Yeah.
to find the most efficient method to dispose of or detain or whatever their policy is these days.
Now that's what I remember. The most interesting part was about this is a Lake Worth spokesman, Ben Kerr, said in a post, "I want to reiterate that Lake Worth does not have any zombie activity currently,
Yes.
and apologizes for the system message."
What kind of message is that? Are they expecting sometime soon? I mean, should we all grab our damn shotguns and start, loading up? What?
Now in parentheses, it states, "I want to reiterate that Lake Worth does not have any zombie activity."
Yes, but he later went on to say that they welcome zombie activity.
Yeah.
They want their zombies to come out. Well, what kind of shit statement is this? We want our zombies to come out. Well, hell, I'd like them to come out too. I'd like to have some damn target practice.
Now, it seems to me as if they're just pushing this under the rug. You know, it'd be easy to blame hackers or whatever, but
But it's happened many times
Yeah.
before. That's the
and not
thing.
just in Florida. Now I know this has happened uh, in other places, but I can't remember those places. But
If we find the information on that, we'll pass it on to you. But
yeah,
it has occurred. I was just unaware. But then again, who in the hell could keep track of all this? It seems like every time you turn around, there's something like that.
yeah. I mean, it like there for a while. Every commercial you saw had something to do with zombies. Now this was back when that homeless man's face got eaten off.
It
But
started the zombie thing, the whole popularization of it started before that. Well, mainly on TV, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
But then once that happened, it just ramped up beyond control, and every time you turn around, there's something else advertising zombies. Hell, I think our Time Warner, I think, actually had zombies on their thing, didn't they? One time?
yeah. I think it was that. It was that.
I think I saw an AT&T commercial with zombies on there.
And then there was that life insurance commercial recently that's been playing.
Just insane stuff like that. Like, it's not even, you know.
Yeah.
So, like you said, well, you know, could it be a desensitizing method? The more you see it, the more you're already kind of
Accustomed to hearing
accustomed
it.
to see it and hear it. So that way you won't think about it. Let's say some small town somewhere that actually did happen. Well, hell, they could easily pass it off as, oh, it was just a massively large zombie run or some kind of shit like that.
Now,
What's the stupidest shit I've ever heard of in my family?
if you go and look, you can in the United States alone, there are many different towns that have become ghost towns. Now, for what reason they become ghost towns, no one knows.
Exactly. They always throughout the American history, they always pass that shit off as, well, the gold dried up or the silver mine shut down or some damn other thing like that. It's usually not that. It could easily have been some sort of damn disease that
Yeah.
would come through and just wipe them all the hell out.
It's almost
You know,
like the government is doing cover-ups.
I ain't like they're doing something. They are doing something.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but
How on what scale is another matter.
I mean, who knows where that would go next? I mean, is this just a testing phase to see how people would react?
Well, no, okay. Now, here's the thing. Okay, remember when the Ebola thing happened a year or two ago, right?
Yes.
I'm not saying that Africa don't have a ton of Ebola because it's it's well known fact that it has. But it coming here, maybe that was a test to see if it actually what could have occurred.
Yeah.
How much panic was being spread around, and there was quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just in our small town, there was quite a bit of upset over it.
And plus, speaking about Ebola, recently, in one of those places that was deemed Ebola free, a person that had that had it went to the doctor and found out. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself here. A person went to the doctor and it came out that he actually had Ebola. Now, that guy. Okay, now the guy escaped to go to a prayer meeting.
Escaped.
Now think about that. This person escaped
With a highly contagious disease.
and went to a prayer meeting
To a place where people go to
together.
and talk to God and
Yeah.
and all that. it's irony.
If that infection spreads past,
Then again, I can't say I blame you for trying to escape.
well, yeah,
I mean, hell, I wouldn't want somebody holding me either. Hell, I escaped from the hospital all the time. It sounds worse than the way I put it. That's another story for another day.
Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever. But just go ahead. I'll stop cutting you off.
No. But what would happen if a widespread epidemic like that happened here, and they started quarantining the cities off?
Well, the majority of red-blooded Americans are not going to just lay down.
Now,
I mean, I know that for a fact.
now that's where you're going to have people, as soon as a state of emergency is even talked about, people go crazy and start stocking up.
First thing they do, go right to your damn local grocery store, buy everything, whether you need it or not.
Yeah, all because of the potential state of
You
emergency.
can mention rain around here, and hell, you can't find nothing in the damn store.
But if there was a state of emergency and a quarantine enacted, you're going to have all your basics. You're going to have people looting. For some reason, people think that if something like that happens,
Well, hell, there's a damn disease out there. I need to break in there and get me a big screen TV.
yeah, because that big screen TV will save your life.
I mean, I guess if you was looting from a damn jewelry store or something like that, you might go trade some jewels or something. Because eventually, big screen TVs ain't gonna do you jack shit.
And then you're
Gold
going
and silver, my friends. That's what you need.
and then you're going to have people just going around shooting people
For no reason.
for no reason. Exactly.
Other than taking their shit.
Yeah. Which then will cause more panic, because then more people will start stocking up on guns, and
Which is nothing wrong
which
with
is
having-
nothing wrong with having guns.
You
But
need to be able to protect yourself in this
But-
day and age anyway.
but the problem with that is if
But the
you-
guns in the wrong hands is a dangerous situation.
yeah, because then you're going to have people creating gangs.
Put it this way. You put a weapon in a person that has no idea how to use it or uses it for the wrong reason, well, that's where, anarchy begins.
In fact, I think it would be more like how the Purge movies were, how you'd have people grouping up, going after the people that they've had problems with.
As far-fetched as that may sound, it's very possible.
And then you got
I wouldn't put, I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't go so far to say that couldn't happen here.
it would definitely happen here.
I can't say it wouldn't.
It don't matter where you live or where you at. There would be people doing that, no matter where.
Well, for one, humans are at their nature animals. It's in their nature to panic. Now, a lot, I think it's a lot, but some does have the mental capacity to actually think and reason and use logic. Most do not.
And then you're gonna have your people that doesn't
Do a simple test.
that
Get 100 people. Take each one of these 100 people by themselves, put a gun to their head, see how they react.
well you're only at your basic fight or flight.
Exactly. Very few will have it in their head to actually reason the situation out. Okay, maybe that situation is too drastic. Maybe just tell them in a whole, say someone just like we're talking about, like a disease or something like that. What's happening, and they've been picked to, be safe, but make sure you leave a lot of their families out. You see where I'm coming from?
I see where
You'll
you're
find
going from.
you'll find out what I'm talking about when it comes to humanity.
Now, you're also going to have other people that ain't going to be using guns. You're going to have people using blades, carrying
Like me.
katanas on their back, carrying knives, throwing knives. I
I'm
mean,
a firm believer in a good sharp weapon.
Jim Bob down the road might be a nice guy, but during that time, Jim Bob might be the axe-wielding maniac.
What you trying to say?
You're in Jim Bob.
Just because I have a few axes don't mean I'm an axe wielding maniac.
I didn't say you. You crazy nut. I'm not talking about you.
Talk about insult. Not really.
Shall I add insult to
Hell,
injury?
that might be a compliment.
No. Well,
Well, let's put it this way. Guns rely on one thing: ammunition. Uh, good sharp blade. All you gotta do is keep it sharp.
exactly.
And if you're nice and sneaky and you know how to use that weapon proficiently, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Because blades don't need reloading. Now you have your other subgroups that are going to portray like they are government officials coming to help. But as soon as you open that door, shotgun blast to the first person that opens the door.
That's probably true.
Second, if there's any women in the house, and
That's a bargaining chip.
that's a bargaining chip, or if they're in a different state of mind, playthings. I'll just put it that way.
In a less crude way of putting it, yeah, exactly. I'm sure the audience knows exactly what you're saying.
Now,
In a shit hit the fan situation, that's how it would break down, basically.
because during that time, a bunch of people would be looking for any help from the government, and your local police wouldn't be there to help
Because they're all protecting their own.
yeah, they're all protecting their own family.
Truth is, you wouldn't really likely have any help. The only people you could really rely on would be yourself, your possible brother, or someone you really trust. Maybe you already have a secret group. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah. And then you got your bug out baggers, the people that have been planning for something like this.
that's a walking store.
Exactly, because one, everybody knows that
For a hunter and killer, that's just nothing more than a resupply.
that's basically a walking Walmart. I mean,
There's nothing wrong with being prepared.
sense and sensibility would go out the window.
Yeah, and rules itself would basically mean absolutely jack.
Now,
Now, that's not to say that any of this has anything to do with a possible thing happening. We're just laying it out how something like this could be just a simple cover-up for a underlying problem. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't.
in fact, let us know down in the comments below what y'all think. What y'all think would happen in a situation like that. I mean,
What would you do? How would you handle it?
would you
Would
stay,
you grab all your shit and dig a hole and hide?
or
Would you climb a tree and take up a sniping position? I mean, what would you do?
or stay home and board up the windows? Which okay. Now this has always been a big old problem of mine. Why in movies? Okay, now this is just in movies. I mean, people probably actually do it like this. I haven't seen anybody do this, but why do they always board the windows up crossway?
The most inefficient way to board a window up.
That is the most inefficient.
In a slat formation. That's more proficient.
In any zombie movie you've ever watched, how do they always board the windows up? They always throw them in sideways. Always have those little cracks in there.
Very roughly, just
Yeah.
half-assed. Just
If you was just to place them like that,
the idea is
that's
to,
more
is
efficient.
to keep them out, not
yeah,
that's leaving openings, gaps, and weaknesses in your fortification. It's like going down into a basement. Well, hell, you just box yourself in underground.
now
Your best bet is to go up, because at least you can still go down.
attics are usually the best place because then you got the high
Especially
ground.
if you take out the stairs.
Yeah, that's another thing. If you live in a house with stairs and you have an attic, take out the stairs as you're going up. So whatever is trying to get in, or just in case if something gets in, it can't get up there to you.
Now, I mean, if you live in a 2-story building or a 3-story building, and a damn fire breaks out, well, you got maybe one option.
But
Uh,
in this case, if you're in a
well,
house,
you might have 2 or 3.
you
depending.
could potentially jump off the roof.
Hey, a broken
and-
leg is way better than a burnt ass body.
Well, you might not even break a leg if you know how to roll when you hit.
But that's worst case scenario.
Yeah,
and-
I mean, all that was just worst case scenario. Like if something like that occurred. Like I said, I'd like to hear what y'all think and what y'all would do in a situation like that.
it is food for thought. Because you never know.
I mean, should we be all planning for something to happen, or should just let this pass on by like everything else? Only you can decide what's best for you.
So, is there any other things that you would like to talk about?
I think that's good for now.
Well, in that case, I guess we'll close out. And don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Let us know what you think about what we talked about. And until next time, I'm Lakotas.
I'm Iron Mike.
Later.